Welcome back to some professional Starcraft 2 from the Team Liquid Star League 6, powered by Shopify. Important to note as time goes on, let me introduce, and this isn't the finals, this isn't the semifinals, this is the losers bracket. And we have two losers here to play in this best of 5. First of the losers, fighting for their chance to move on, it is from Team Envy. You may have heard of him, lesser known player, Maru. And in the top right, the chef himself. Occasionally a Protoss player, though I don't know if all Protoss would describe it as that. More like a Protoss aficionado. But I digress. The big boy. In the top right, the man with a plan that is to make it look like there is none. Was really looking for something that rhymed, but I already used 2 out of like the 4 words I know, so why is he building a zealot? What are you doing? Okay, well, anyways, before we get too far into it, we have this. The Shopify Battle Report, made by nice username /Joey. And whenever units fight, we're going to have more numbers, more stats.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
And actually, stats isn't another part of the bracket, but I'm excited to bring this up to get even more of a breakdown and find out who really won or who really lost these fights. And now, does it tell the whole story? Like, if they're both on an even economy and one player wins 70% of the fight, they do 70% of the damage, well, they're probably going to win. But if one player has lost, say, 20 probes to Widow Mines, then maybe they won't do as well. Believe it or not. So, everything's important in context, but, I mean, come on. Nothing's happened. No one's died. I'm so excited. You're going to see so much. We might be on this more than the game itself. We'll see. On top of everything else, more and more ways to justify whatever viewpoint you're trying to make in these matches. And Maru, what are you doing, Maru? What? This is what we back in the day called going full Terran. He just made a barracks, a reactor, and now he's got 3 command centers because that's Maru just constantly figuring out how many command centers he can get away with and how quickly. It's taken this long in Legacy of the Void. In Legacy of the Void, you start out with a higher economy. A lot of players didn't really feel like you needed to get as many command centers as early. But Maru has slowly but surely, especially over the last year, now it's 2021, but this 2020, that, just build 3 CCs. Who's going to punish you? Well, the guy who's going to punish you is the one who's most likely to do so, is the one sitting across the map right now. Maru, this is a Game 1 build, I feel. Like, Game 1, you just give it a shot. You go 3 CC, does Parting do like a Blink Stalker attack? I mean, DT drop is also on the agenda. A battery in the main, just a good general option. Already a turret on the way. I'm not sure what Maru has seen. He's seen an expansion, and he's seen nothing else. But you might be like, well, then how does he... The nothing else is a key point. He hasn't seen any Stalkers, he hasn't seen any Stargate units, which would have showed up by now. The nothing else is... And this turret is definitely serving a dual purpose. This turret is part 1, is just basic detection for DTs and observers. But he's not just looking for observers, so I imagine that's why it's behind the bunker instead of out in front. Maru's looking for the shenanigans that are very much afoot right now. Has Maru saved? He has scans. He has Marines at the ready. He's waiting for either this or Blink. And, well, there you go. Parting picks up the DTs. A turret immediately going to be built. He's going to wait out the scan here. And Maru has enough Marines that he might be able to zone out the prism. So Maru, despite not having any tech or even close. He can't have a Raven. He can't even have a starport right now. Parting being very annoying with this. I wonder if Parting will realize, based on the fact that Maru has nothing but bio units, that he has a third CC. Because if well, let's look at the battle so far. Parting has dealt 90 damage. Oh wait, it actually has the number. That's crazy. Like, you never actually see the physical number of damage like an MMO. Like you do in... Jimmy! Jimmy! Why? I can't... No, it's not... That's not... Ah! We're in the middle! Oh. Apparently it's just broken. Okay, so that's... Oh my god. I can't believe he went DTs. Well... So that's great. Just, for now. Very immersive cast, alright? I've gotten enough criticism about my face. I'm finally taking my face off the screen. Okay? Even though I talk with my hands and I'm essentially unable to speak right now. Well, there you go. You know, if you use the code Winter Gaming, you can get... Wait, no, I'm not... Don't read Twitch chat just because you don't have a face. You can't get 10% off a new webcam on Shopify, but I might have to look into it as we look into the battle report powered by Shopify. This is a weird position to Archon drop from. Stim is done, but chasing Archons with Marines is not always a profitable endeavor. A double drop heading out. Maru going full Terran so far. And the double Archon drop still at home. I'm one of the weirder starts to a match. Maru's still heading out. The double Archon drop. This, I haven't seen a 2 Archon drop for quite a while. Not just in PvT, but it was a bit of a strategy. And I say a bit because it still hasn't, it wasn't that common in Protoss versus Zerg. But here, targeting the shield battery to start. A pylon powering a lot of this. Targets it as well. Looking for it. Depowers both the Dark Shrine. Not that that's relevant right now. And oh no, the War Prism got targeted down as well. One Archon, badly bruised. Maru goes for it. The Archon survives. The rest of the bio finds the mark. A few charge lots warped in. Do they have any upgrades? No. This is a optimistic stutter step. Eventually find some reinforcements. Maru looking for another opportunity to go into the main. Shield batteries, photon cannon, a couple stalkers. The stalkers aren't going to cut it right now. Those are 1-1 Marines and Marauder. Maru got so much done. He got... Well, Blink is not done either. So Maru easily going to get away here. The scan spots everything. In that last battle, Maru doing 72% of the damage. A lot of... I like how it shows the pickups and unloads there. But overall, getting a huge amount of the resources as well. It's a little confusing on the damage dealt being different than resources lost, but Maru's economy is in full swing. He's got 65 SCVs against a plummeting number of probes, 53 total. The main base is about to be gone, the natural as well. Let's drop a cluck, a single DT in the mix. A scan spots the army, parting with a desperation counterattack. He put it all together. He looked for the killing blow. Will he find it? Oh no, those Widow Mines. That's a lot of damage there. It does some friendly fire, but losing any amount of those Archons. Those Colossi, not... They need something in front. The main base being ransacked by Maru right now. The Widow Mines, an area... Is an armory done? Yes. Those Widow Mines require detection to kill. The boys are pulled! And while there are Colossi, there are not enough. The Terran army. Overwhelming. The boys eating enough shots. Parting trying to target fire. Juggle the Colossi back. Remember, during all this, the main base is gone. And so is Parting. Oh my god. Can you believe what he did to my boy Parting? I am shooketh. I am... No, no. I am... Oh, I am baptized in the cleansing pools of disbelief. I am drowned with tears of joy for the beautiful Terran play. I am encompassed and eclipsed by the stutter step and so much more, and other great words to describe the beauty and eloquence of Maru's play. And Jimmy, the game's on. What do you? I don't care if it's a replay. Once you start it, you can't pause. That was like metaphorically. Come on. And we're watching. This is where, you know what, Winter? I really liked it when your face wasn't on the screen, because at least I can see something good happening then. And I say, that doesn't... What does that even mean? Then again, I will say, I don't know if it is, when it comes to YouTube comments, also Twitch, but YouTube comments especially, there is a high correlation. It seems to be a correlation of people criticizing the content and also overlapping with people who are unable to put a sentence that makes, well, an English sentence together. I won't say it's none, because obviously there's some constructive and good criticism I've taken in the past. But a lot of it is accompanied by a very creative structure and more of a suggestive spelling of things people would like to call words. So, always love to see it. So can we talk about the last game, though? Enough about me. Like and subscribe. Maru at 3cc and just ran parting up. Sure, there were some details. There were some fancy stats powered by Shopify. I'm a little, like, this would be where if it was Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Kentucky Fried Chicken or another suspiciously food-related, maybe Red Bull sponsor, I would be like, and now sponsor me. The thing is, Shopify, I mean, they're literally sponsoring a Starcraft tournament, so it's a little too on the nose here. Awesome of them to sponsor TSL 6, of course. And this observer tool, I hope that it becomes standard to use, because let me tell you how to use it in your games if you happen to be a Starcraft observer as well. You just add the extension mod. I believe it's literally just called observer mod, which I might be wrong about that, but seems a little less than specific. And it works with all the existing observer interfaces. Remember back in the day, if you watch my Winter Ruins all old highlights video or early Wings of Liberty epic plays, why is there an adept in here? Parting. Also Maru. I'm trying to talk. Why did you let the like, I have to talk about how this should never happen. Because he lost 3 SCVs and his entire base was scouted, so it could have been worse, but, like, not very. Half the SCVs are bruised. Anyways, back in the day when we had to use the standard observer interface, like barbarians, ugh, disgusting. But now we have such fancy technology. Yeah, while parting, he loses the adept, but 3 SCVs. And the rest of the SCVs bruised. And a big part, the biggest thing he got, not just the 3 SCVs, but the 3rd command center. He confirms it's once again a 3rd command center, so Parting's pulling the trigger right now. He says, I'm going. It's going to be a blink all in. He's slapping some more gates on. He might throw a placeholder 3rd down, but it's Blink Stalkers. His trademark, his bread, and his buttered biscuit Parting coming in, looking to kill Maru or do critical damage. Yes, the Observer scouts the way, but I think it's very unlikely, no matter how many bunkers he finds. Parting just, I don't know how he does it. Yeah, that was probably going to happen. But he just finds a way to get the damage done. Billy, you're not an adept. Doesn't look like I care, son. What? You're not my dad. Alright, son. Moving on. Blink Stalkers in the main. Going for the tech lab. Gonna get stim denied. More Stalkers warped in. The Warp Prism very deep in the paint. There's a chance he just kills the Orbital, in which case he could recall and call this a success. A couple tanks. Now, if he dives on the Orbital, he better get it. This is... Oh, decided to leave. At least one tank in the main. Big scan. The boys are pre-pulled onto the bunker. He just target fires them. Parting surprisingly patient here. Blinks past over to the side of the natural. Tank's not in position quite yet. Observer coming in as well. Is there a scan for it? There will be in a moment, but I'm not sure how much the Observer is really relevant now with the Warp Prism here. Oh, Blinks forward. Whoa, whoa, whoa. One tank looking for the bunker. Parting kind of waffling on this. So far, Parting's done the majority of the damage, but he's also lost 5 Stalkers. He's used 73 Blinks, if you count each Stalker Blink individually, which I guess is what we're doing. Uses the Ghetto Blink into the Prism. Gets a tank, but the losses are starting to mount here. Wait. Has he really only lost 5 Stalkers? Oh, it's a new battle. It's a new battle. All right. We have more numbers and charts and graphs and
The numbers don't lie. And they got 25% at best at beat me. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50
the Blink
chance
Stalkers.
But I'm a
Get the
genetic
numbers
freak,
off the
and I'm
screen.
not normal. So you got a 25%
Oh my.
at
Okay.
best at beat me. And then you
Oh
got
my, Jimmy. Meanwhile, the Stalkers are still looking for an opportunity. As things got a little out of hand there. Blink Stalkers back into the main, but that's a lot of bio with several Marauders doing that extra damage to the Stalkers. The boys are pulled, but Maru has actually more workers right up until this moment. More tanks coming up. If he can keep the tank count down, then eventually you can pick a fight with the Stalkers. Parting finally admitting that he might need a third. There was nothing in the bunker, but he slaps a few in, takes out the bunker. More Stalkers warped in. It looks like Parting's starting to get real damage done. Stim is done, but with no medevacs, there's nothing to heal these units. There's not a starport. Because when you go for 3 command centers right off the bat, you're not going to have a starport very quickly. That's kind of an admission. That's something you know is going to happen. And now he's left to fend with badly bruised, stim pack-addled units against a whole bunch of Blink Stalkers. Scans the main, gets the Observer, the Vendaya scan as well here. A couple of the boys pulled. Parting starting to get real damage done. A single tank on the high ground, but the concave of Stalkers actually decides to blink back here. He's losing more and more SCVs. Maru has lost 19 SCVs, 18 Marines, and a tank recently. But 10 Stalkers have gone down, and remember, Parting just now getting his third, and that's going to be an influx of fresh, juicy minerals. As juicy as minerals get, which is not very, but new minerals with maximum saturation and efficiency and numbers and all that. Parting has been mining more throughout this, mostly because the boys have to continually be pulled, but targets down a few of the Stalkers. Microwing in the main is Parting. A scan on the third, trying to catch Parting off guard. Just the 4 Stalkers in the main targeting down SCVs as well. I don't know how many of them were bruised earlier from the Adept and how many have had to deal with all of this. But a Marauder, a single tank, the Stalkers at the front, and we're in... This is one of the weirdest situations. It's okay, it's not weird, but it's awkward. Because Maru is taking permanent damage on his units. Because right now he's building... He finished his starport, but he has a reactor building, so he's not going to have medevacs. Whereas Parting, while he does have a third, he has a better economy. with just Blink Stalkers, you are one bad blink or a couple seconds looking the other way from getting smashed, obliterated, demolished, other adjectives. Losing all your Stalkers is the summary. So, not sure why Maru decided to scout with a Marauder there. The problem is, Parting has maintained map control for long enough that by the time Maru has those medevacs out, Parting's going to have Storm. He already got Storm done. He has Charge. The only thing Maru has going for him are upgrades and just the unit composition in general. Ooh, the Storm... Jimmy! Jimmy! Check the forecast! Hello? Yeah, it makes sense. Meanwhile, Parting tries to break the front, but Maru already had a wall, but doesn't matter. The Storms are dropping on top of the army. The tanks eviscerated. And Parting ties it up at 1-1. A little bit... it was still not as... Let's look at that. Can we get the stats on that last battle? Yeah. Wow. Parting, by the end of it, had only lost the... What? The Templar did 1,186 damage? Well, the tank... Wait, is this all Templar? Or is this one Templar? I think it's all of them, because there's no way one tank did that much damage on its own in that battle. I think it's just that unit type in general, but 1,186 damage. Oh my. That's a lot of damage. So, like, the Blink Stalkers, the obvious choice, but it was a bit touch and go there. I really thought that Parting would do a lot better. I know I'm being critical of players a couple thousand MMR above me, but it felt like it worked. It worked in the end. But Maru's going 3cc. The fact it took that much and it was that close to just essentially fizzling out the attack felt a little dicey for Parting. So hopefully he can clean it up a bit. He wasn't as decisive as we're used to seeing, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And it worked out in the end, yes. But does it work out? Or does he... Well, another question is not necessarily does it work out, but does he even go for Blink if he doesn't get the Adept in? Because remember, the heroic Adept, that entire game built on that Adept. Without that Adept getting into the main, seeing 3 command centers, even killing some SCVs, like, without that Adept, Maru once again finds himself with 3 CCs comfortably. So this SCV was heading out intentionally off to the side, like intentionally not being scouted. This probe is looking for a proxy race. NG Bay block. He's gonna NG Bay block him, right? This is considered a, quote, dick move, but effective. Why do you build an NG Bay and not anything else? It is the cheapest cost to HP ratio. So that's kind of like why you block with a Cyber Core sometimes in PvP, which is a mess of a matchup, but the NG Bay builds the quickest and has the most HP for the cost, especially compared to like a supply depot. So the NG Bay, the obvious choice, because you're not actually building an NG Bay. You're building a building, so that way they can't. There is a Zealot building. I think Parting is in the habit of just building a Zealot to start. We saw that in Game 1 as well, and I think it is. You can just cancel it, get all your money back, if there's no NG Bay block. But if there is an NG Bay block, well, build another one. Give him another one! Okay. I mean, the SCV would just die in like 1 second, so... But one of these days, maybe, we will see the double engineering bay block. Does Maru go 3cc? No, he doesn't, by the way. That's a factory. The factory's already done. He's going for Reactored Hellions. Against a player he's kind of forced into a heavier 1 base. Parting gonna wall off with a Twilight, because he knows that Maru knows. That Parting knows that Maru knows that he's probably gonna go Twilight. So Parting, and he just throws the Robo down. I mean, you need a Robo. You need a Robo. You need a wall. You need a Robo. Why not? So the wall off is almost entirely for the Hellions, by the way. Otherwise, it's more of a liability in this matchup. Like, you got no Zerglings trying to come in. Maybe the boys, but a handful. There are a wide variety of Terran units that can ruin your day. Almost all of the Terran units, besides Marines and Marauders, in the first 5 minutes of the game, could potentially ruin your day. You got Hellions, you got Widowmines, you got Banshees, you got Liberators. Tanks. Reapers. How many other units are... Cyclones? Okay. I know all the unit names. After 10 years and 50,000 games, you'd hope so, but you never know. So... Ghosts. Probably not ghosts. I mean, if there were ghosts, they would be dangerous, but that's quite an investment. The most obvious medevac in the history of medevacs is on the way, because Maru isn't going to just build 4 Hellions against a remotely competent player. And Parting understands this is a threat and already has his Stalkers in place, but it only takes 3 Hellion hits to one-shot a probe, as we see here. Parting able to target down 2. Great probe micro. Even probes blocking for the other probes. 4 okay, let's crunch the numbers. 4 Hellions lost against 4 probes. And now, of course, probes can mine minerals and all that, as they do. Believe it or not, that's what they do. Oh, Widowmine's coming in round 2 of this tower defense game. Defend the probes! Uh-oh. He recalled. No, he recalled to the wrong base. Parting is just like one of us. Oh, no. Oh. So, whenever you press an ability or a spell, it automatically chooses the closest target. Parting 100% wanted to recall to his main. He may have even selected it, but there wasn't enough energy for a recall. So the natural recalled the Prism from like 4 feet away, which did not help him solve the problem of Widowmines in his main at all. And in fact, if I know Parting a very emotional player, but Parting, if you've ever seen him in GSL on like the player cam, that was definitely a kind of moment. And for those of you who haven't, that was kind of weird. But that a tilting moment, to be sure. Blinking in, gets a tank. By the way, Blink Stalkers, in case we hadn't mentioned that. Another tank coming up. Auto turret as well. And even though... Oh, the repair is huge! The repair is huge. That's a lot of damage. And also the Widowmines found 5 probes on the other side. Parting down 10 workers here. Losing a whole lot. 8 probes and 5 Stalkers. He got 2 tanks, but Maru has all his production together. His army gets better over time. Whereas Parting can just build more Stalkers, which is kind of a linear increase in strength as opposed to exponential. And he's so good with those Stalkers, but at some point you're bringing a Blink Stalker to a gunfight. And it's okay. It feels like Parting really wanted something done here. He really wanted to get damage. And he was trying so hard to get it. It has backfired somewhat. Now, he still has a bunch of Blink Stalkers. There is no stim. He sniped the stim, or it never even started, as he was sniping add-ons in the main. So, Parting once again finds himself in a tough scenario where he has to do a lot of damage with an uncomfortably low amount of Stalkers. He blinks. Oh, whoa, whoa! What a save! Maru dodges the Stalker Volley into the medevac. He blinks his tank into the medevac. Huge. That tank is critical right now. He can't blink in again. Oh, that was a potentially game-changing move. As Maru really needs to be able to split his forces here. He can't commit everything to his main or he loses a lot of his natural. So while Parting is in apparently the only spot he knows how to play from, which is in a rough spot economically with a bunch of Blink Stalkers and hoping he can do enough damage somewhere at some point in some way. But Maru holds on to a tank finally, and now has one for each of his bases, even if he's pretty heavily tucked in. The problem here, Maru, this is how confident. This should explain to you better than I ever could. Maru used 2 scans. All he needs to know is whether Parting has a third. If Parting doesn't have a third, Maru just needs to survive. He needs to live. And eventually, he will have too many units that Blink Stalkers just can't make a big enough dent in them. But if Parting does have a third somehow, then he's less committed to the attack, and Maru needs to counterattack. But since Parting does not, I guess he could have a hidden base, but that'd be a massive risk in a game that doesn't necessarily warrant it. Parting is building 4 more gateways before even thinking about a third. He slaps it on now. Storm is halfway done, so that's his big gamble. Parting realizing charge is not going to cut it. You just can't build enough charge lots to turn the tides here. But Storm, on the other hand, the great malevolent tempest, the tides frothing at the gates of the Terran. Something other nautical related. We'll see. Those storms will determine whether Parting sinks or swims, as that's a lot of bio. There's not a charge is on the way as well, but Parting doesn't really have the income to afford that many charge lots on top of everything else he's trying to get. So here we go. Parting down in workers, army supply, upgrades. But he has Blink and he has Storm, and Parting essentially a wizard. So spell casting is something he's relied on in the past and will have to rely on once again. But Maru looking, he's got to slow it down. Parting has to slow it down. Where's the Storm Hammer? Here we go. 4 Templar, 1 Warp Prism, and a Dream. Parting still sharking around, probably wondering why Maru doesn't move out. Maru making the call of, you know what? Why give him the chance? Why let him take a winning fight? Come and kill me. Because I think he's realized Parting light on the upgrades, and by that I mean he doesn't have any. About as light as you can get. Well, here we go. Oh, the NG Bay blocks the charge lots through the asphyxiating choke point, but the storms dropping down across the army. More storms, but the tanks hold. Archons will be morphed, but Parting's army is gone. His supply is gone in Game 3. Parting. 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 There was 1 Marine over here that killed 3 probes. Parting, have the self-respect to leave the game. This is... Thank you. I think he was still kind of taking stock. Yeah, the storms hit hard. But this time, he put up the engineering sandbags. He had the tanks spread well enough. Storms weren't going to solve that problem. Maru dealing 74% of the damage in that last engagement. Storms and tanks, the MVPs. But not nearly enough. Maru holding the line. And that puts him on match point. We've essentially, it's boiled down to the same game 3 times now. It has been Parting trying to stab Maru. This time Maru did a little damage to Parting. All right, they had a little bit of a slap fight in the early game. But then Parting ends up with a Warp Prism and something Twilight Council related. And Maru ends up with poorly supported bio units. And then we see what happens. The thing is, as time goes on, oh my god. Ah, yes, the classic Maru move. Can we get the goddamn scores? Thank you. Okay. For Maru, for those who don't know, according to the Maru philosophy of Terran, the best time to proxy Rex is the first game of the series, when you just won a game on match point, or when you lost a game. So those are the best times that Maru likes to proxy. And here we go. We're on match point, and he won a game. So that's double trouble right there. The probe. Now, Parting didn't directly scout for the proxy, but he is going to indirectly scout. So there's a suspicious lack of Rex, which means another probe's going to go out. How quickly? Will he see it immediate? Where does he think he put it? We'll find out. I'm sure he'll build a Zealot. So Parting is walling off the low ground, which this isn't better. This isn't better against Reapers. I was trying to think, like, is this better? No. The SCV comes in and kind of gives away where the proxy Rex is. The thing is, it doesn't matter. He's not going to kill the barracks. He has to deal with the Reaper. That's it. Like, there's... I'm sorry. Everyone, one moment. I need to talk to Parting. Parting? It's a goddamn Nexus! He put a Nexus! Okay, so, Parting says, well, you build a barracks outside my main, I'll build a Nexus in yours. And, things are about to get weird. Oh, he's going for it. The citizen's arrest. The Zealot leading the charge, despite not having it. So, the thing is, everyone's just building buildings all over the place. The laws and rules of Starcraft do not matter. The Reapers cannot recall back. Parting not going to cancel this. He's going to recall. Especially now that there's an engineering bay blocking his natural. I would be very surprised if he cancels this Nexus. Yeah, the Reapers are coming back. Does he just... He immediately recalls all his units. The Reapers show up, build a probe, get some pylons at his base. So this is how we're doing it. Okay. So now there are two adepts. Wait, no, where are you going? You worked so hard to get in here. Why are you leaving? Like, your parents paid 400 minerals for this Nexus, and you just leave. What do you mean? Oh, I'm sorry, when the going gets tough, then the tough get going. What does that even... Okay, so... There is now a Nexus in Maru's main doing essentially nothing, but... And there's a barracks in Parting's main, and of course, there's a Twilight Council, and I assume Blink will be starting in 2, 1, Blink. There you go. He can use the Chrono... This is what I expected from Maru versus Parting. Those first 3 games were just foreplay here. But now we got into, this is the real Maru versus Parting. We finally unlocked the actual series. Maru is now, after doing the proxy racks, he's going to add 2 more bases into his main, making a grand total of 4 bases in Maru's main. And this might be a record. We are 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the match, and Maru has 4 bases in his base. Because that's how we do. He's now... Parting is chrono boosting off his proxy nexus. He has finished his expansion. The barracks is down for the count. For the indefinite count. A tank is killing... Okay. So eventually it all goes down. There are Threepers on the other side. And this game is gonna get... Like, we're just getting started with this start to a match. So, this is very different than the previous matches. It might look similar, but this time Maru went for the starport into the 3cc. He's gonna have a Raven. But Parting is also going to have the Blink. He's in a much better position to just go for a third, or, depending on how very technically you want to call it, a fourth. But I'm going to call it a third because I'm going to end up confusing myself. More than this game already is. Like, we're 5.5 minutes in, and everybody's pretending like we're having a normal game now. Because they can no longer slap each other across the face with these weird pool noodles they brought with razor blades on the end of them. It appears... You want to know how I got these scars? Cooking accident. Stim is on the way. Yeah, Parting... For Parting's sake, I do hope he's a little more committed. Blinks in one tank, explores whether or not he can actually I mean, not blinks in a tank. How scary would that be? That was called the beginning of Legacy of the Void. Anyways. Hallucinated Phoenix blinks in one... Wait, is he just gonna kill him? This time there aren't that many units. There's no bunker in the main. He snipes the tank. Auto turret, the boys are pulled. Everyone kind of trickling into this fight, but... Parting loses 4 Stalkers. Maru loses much more than that. Despite the damage being about even, only one side has shields. Yeah, Maru losing 15 supply of units, including 2 tanks and several SCVs. He's eating the tank shots with the forward Stalkers, minimizing it. Gets the bunker! That is not good for Maru. I wouldn't be surprised if Parting just decides to jump on that. There is one Widow Mine. A third tank is on the way. Maru is stabilizing. Parting not even hinting at a third right now. Not even flirting with the idea. No, he just goes deep into the main. One tank. The other one not siege. Bunker down for the count. I gotta stop saying that. It appears... Oh, the hallucinated Phoenix ate the Widow Mine hit. Which means just a bunker and a tank, which seems like a lot, but to Parting is almost nothing. So, you know what? You know when I said this game is very different? Yeah, that was a lie. My bad. We're gonna have essentially the same game, but with a... Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Yeah, that wasn't good. That was not... I don't know, guys. You tell me. 5 Stalkers for 3 SCVs and a Marine. Okay, and a Reaper. Oh, I don't know now. I don't know. That changes everything. That engage was just kept Maru in the game. Losing 5 Stalkers at this stage, Parting no longer has the number to even... I'm pretty sure he needs more than that to one-shot tanks. So he can't just jump that... Okay. Parting. Simmer down. He can no longer jump the tanks. He's got storms in a prism. Somehow we end up here... Is this 4 out of 4? I forget how game 1 ended. He just ran him over, right? Essentially. Wow. Wow, Maru just scanning everywhere. I guess when you have 3cc and you can't even really mine from the minerals you have because you already have too many SCVs on 2 bases, it's true. Like, he has too many minerals. Or he has too many SCVs. He just... Oh my god, the storm drops on the mineral line! Well, now he doesn't have too many SCVs. Parting doing Maru a favor. 11 SCVs go down, which is less than it looked like, but still a pretty devastating blow. Armory's on the way. Parting still, like, the lack of upgrades makes it so Parting is entirely reliant on spellcasters. He's not going to win a heads-up fight. There's not enough energy! Didn't even get the feedback on the Raven. Feedback on the Raven could be a big difference. Oh, gets the interference matrix. Those Templar locked into the prism. Widowmine's finding big hits. Those Templar need to wait it out. He can't even drop them out while it's interference matrix. And he can't drop them out because they're fucking dead. Meanwhile, the Bio Army looking for more opportunities. Parting must hold. He must find something. It's 1-1 Marine Marauder, but... Okay, a couple more Widow Mines burrowing. The friendly fire, mostly. Armory is done. That means he needs detection for these Widow Mines. Maru closing in from all sides. The Archon's falling back. There's no shield batteries at the natural. A disgusting angle here. Maru abusing and using the rocks. And the Widow Mine's still not detected. Parting is struggling. He can't go head-to-head. He lost all his Templar. The Prism turned against him. What was supposed to ferry the Templar to victory instead locked them into their death. More Stalkers going down. And with it, Parting! Just, he lives and he dies by the Blink Stalkers. Parting refuses to give up on him. Oh, I'm sorry. The game's... What? What do you mean? Oh, it's score-based. Oh, we have more games. It's not over. Jimmy, look at how many. What do you mean? It's not my fault that the folder is split up into 2 different sets. I think they were played at the same time as the other group. Just put the next game! I mean... Oh! I like what they did. I'm gonna give a shout out. First, congratulations, Maru, on your victory. What a roller coaster! What an incredible match! And what do I mean by that? Thank you to Shopify for sponsoring TSL. So what they did was add spoiler games. They just retitled a game of the AI. So that way, even me casting the replays here, which hopefully you enjoyed, and you can tell me by liking and subscribing and checking out these amazing videos as well. They added spoiler. Who does that? You might be like, Winter, why don't you add 30 minutes of dead air on YouTube at the end so that way it doesn't spoil it for us? And when the series ends? The answer is because then YouTube would direct less and less people to my videos, and I wouldn't make as much dirty esports money. So, that's actually the simple version. It used to be that it was only based on views, but now it's based on if you actually watch the video, and having 30 minutes of dead air at the end would absolutely ruin that. And also would be more work, and I'm lazy. Just like Parting. What do I mean, though? Parting's like, I'm gonna go Blink Stalkers every game, and I'm gonna lose every time. A little disappointing to see, I gotta say. I mean, you're facing Maru. Maru has defended Blink Stalkers for a decade. Oh, like half of his life has been defending Blink Stalkers. So, what do you think? Congratulations, Maru. Moving on in the Shopify TSL 6. What do you think of the new fancy battle report thing? I mean, obviously you love it. But thank you to Joey. Such a nice username for that. And that's enough talking. Good luck.